Gora Andura, I say. Mama Seta, Ashidu, Ashite, Ashu on vibrations. Every baka, may your mind, buckets, and souls be old. May your omits be sound. May your buckas be leaven off ground. Will be keep to the breath, the orth, the moth, or the seon, the soul of Ra guides and keeps you old. Ayanma, I say Ra, Ella E, say El, say I, Christ Ori, Chaplain, Tata, Amin Ra. I'm Ma Truth Awareness. True Talk can be a part of the greatest transfer of Ma Elf, that's intelligence, Aminology, to Ongodu. This is sound logic. And with all that being offered to you, being a fool is absolutely your choice to raise. Ray 1867. Go to Google, go to Apple, download that Kagadora app, go to Jesus.com, sign up, get the iBucket to Omen, get the Mithorian Kagadora file, get the solarization, name decoded, all the programs that we have to deprogram and deconstruct. You get access to the erectionary because the words in the dictionary die your erection. We're teaching you to Ongodu. That's a language that speaks motion. I don't consent to draconian state, nor should you hashtag that in your posts. My thoughts are spores that spawn intelligence instead of fungi.org. Don't forget that your mental health is directly tied to your etheric compass. You got to reorientate yourself back to sound. Don't forget, we have the erectionary, the Mithorian Kagadora update. Tune in. We also have the crypto shit shower report, where we remind you that the blockchain is not a financial umbrella that you can hold and prevent shit from head. All right, so we just did a banger, about a 30-minute video decoding the word Nazi, getting into the Nazi symbol, which is called a swastika. So now we're going to decode the swastika, and I'm going to open up where I should have closed off, but I timed that, so I couldn't continue speaking to what I wanted to speak about. Okay, so we have Nazi, spelled Nazi, okay, but we're hearing a T, T, T sound, okay? So it's very important that we recognize this, okay, because this is where the cipher comes in, okay, because we're saying one thing, but it's spelled another way, okay? So the spelling is what gets us, all right? What makes us trap, because the symbol and the word should have worked in opposite. It was stolen and converted, okay, by association, negated, okay. This is why it was called Nazi, because it negates, okay, it negates Ra, the power of Ra. It negates the voice that the children of Ra have. Okay, I've already told you the code Afra-Fa-Ra-Ka. That's Afeld Ra-Ka. Okay, go get my book. 99% of Nigo ores are clones. Okay, it's all in there. So what I'm basically saying is when we say Nazi, okay, it means not applicable to Z. Okay, to the Z soul. Okay, so I need to make this clear because I didn't make it clear in part 1. Okay, so when you say Nazi and they go around doing what they're doing, okay, Z, as I said, is Zigad, Lucifer, Azazel, Ayahuasca, all the draconian construct. Okay, the I is soul man. Okay, so a Z-I is a soul man that is in the power of the Z. It's a Zai. Okay? So this means not applicable to Zai. Then you have Zion. Okay, so that means Zai, life form. On is life. So when they say black life matters, it's Zion matters. Not Zion. Okay? So remember, when we corrected the code, okay, we are going by sound. So now that means negate Z. Why is it negate Z? Because the symbol in itself says negate Z. I redid the symbol here, which I'm going to use for a logo that I'm going to use in a t-shirt. That is an N for negate, and that is a Z for Azazel or Zgad, the devil god, whatever you want. Okay, that's an N and a Z. It looks very close to that, which is very close to that. Or whatever. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this. And then, yeah. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And like I explained in the other video, basically the square is opposite to the circle. And I explained that when you put a check, an X in the box, that means you're agreeing with the circle or agreeing with whatever this is associated with, right? But if we go out like this, that means we are disagreeing with Azazel. We're disagreeing with the square. We're disagreeing with the draconian construct. Okay, this is the same as this. Same meaning. Okay, it doesn't mean what they want you to tell you. It's an ancient symbol in the form of equal armed cross with each arm continued at the right angle, used especially in South Asia as a symbol of good luck or spirituality. Okay, I explained to you how it came to be and what it meant because this is what us Bakas used. Okay, a symbol in the form of a black cross with each arm bent clockwise at a right angle, used as an emblem of German Nazi party. Okay, I already told you what that is. Basically, it's the same principle as the circle. When you take a circle and you splice it in half, you now have two C's. Okay, so this is why the C is the scythe and means sever. Okay, so the same principle, if you take a square and you cut it in half, now you have two halves. Okay, now that square itself is severed. So if you take this half and lay it over like this, that's really the true symbol that was probably used. Okay, because fundamentally sound, this is what we are doing. Okay, so when you are operating the sound logic, you can now read symbols properly because you recognize and realize what they symbolize based on the motion. So based on the motion, you know what the symbol means. So if this symbol means the severed square, so this means the square has lost its power. It's done with. It's prohibited. It's not allowed. It's crossed out. That's what it would look like. Okay, so I've come from this and now evolved the swastika, which we're going to get into shortly, into this. I've taken an N, right? And I put a Z, negate Z. Okay, you got that. Now, let's decode the swastika. Okay, swastika, I did this before the video. Okay, so it means say stop the voice of the thinking soul. Okay, if we decode the words for words, remember, I broke this down using sound. Okay, but if we use words for words, like etymology and all that stuff, you have swas. Okay, so that's going to refer to as black skinned. Okay, and then you have tika, so that means thinking ka. But if you put stick, this means the black soul has say. Okay? It doesn't mean it how it's spelled, but that is what stick means. Say taka. Okay? I'm a thinking soul with say. Okay? You got that. But swastika now means the S is for say, the W is for woes, to stop, the AS is for against say or have no say. Okay? The T is for ta, which is thinking. The I is soul, man. The Ka is ka, flesh, shell, or. Or is, what keeps the soul, what keeps whatever is inside of it. Okay? You understand? Okay? So when we recognize and realize that, this is why that symbol that is associated with the word Nazi, which means not applicable to Zion. Okay, this is a big code. Okay, these guys don't even know. That's why they love me. Okay, because I teach them their own shit. Okay, so remember, Nazi means non-applicable to Azazel. Okay, if we don't have the on, then it's gonna be not applicable to the Z soul man. Okay, so that means the soul man under Lucifer. Okay, so that means it's a Z man because it's less of soul. Okay, you got that. Okay, so because I know the codes, I can tell you that on goes there because that is what a soul is. Okay, so that means it's not applicable to Zion. So the rules of Ra, okay, what governs the stem, what governs the earth, what you call sun, okay, these rules of sound are not applicable to Zionists. Okay, you got that. Ist means I say. Ta. Okay, it's almost like saying like or ik. Okay, because Ra is what has say. Okay, so when they don't let go of the soul, that means they're taking it. Okay, they're acting in place of. Okay, so in order to fix this code swastika, okay, we remove the W because that is woes. Okay, all right, so now we have SA, right? And then we want to remove the AS. All we have to do is reverse it. So opposite of as, like when they say accepted as is, that means you have no say. It is as it is. Okay, because it has no say. This is why the word as is used. Okay, when you say Azazel, it's the same thing. As is like saying as, like as. Okay, you have no say under Azazel because this is draconian. This is the Zionist. Okay, they take over the soul. That's what that code means. Okay? Now we would have double that, so we might correct that. And then we have, it's the same thing. You have ta, I, ka. So that's be say, ta, I, ka. Okay, so because this is redundant, okay, it's say is like saying ta ta, it's like saying the say of say. Okay, so that would be Say ta an. That's what it is. Okay? That's literally what it would be. Because you're a life form that says on. Okay, so that is Ra. Okay, this is what says speaks life. Okay, he's the say. Okay, just like Tata is the thought of thought. Okay, the only different thing you could say is Ra say ka, but more importantly, okay, leaving it to say ta I ka now allows you to understand why the stick could be called a staff. Okay, you got it? The walking stick. Because a se ta aika has authority of Ra. But a staff, calling it a staff, this is se ta afeld. Se ta feld. Okay, so this means that the say of Ra felled. Your say felled. When you're holding this, this means you can hold this because Ra has felled. Say ta felled. That's what it means. Just because it's two, there's one sound for the two F's. Okay, this is how they fuck with you. So the thinking soul felled. Okay, so when you carry a staff and say this is a staff, that's saying that you're a felled thinking soul. It's saying that you are this. A felled Ra-Ka. That's what you are. You're Africa. Okay? So this shouldn't be called the stick. This is not the problem. What we're calling it is the problem. Okay? You got that? So this represents Seta Ka, Seta Ika, converted from swastika. Okay? A matter of fact, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I just saw something. Okay? So instead of taking the woes to stop, right? But if we turn that W right side up to an M, now we have Ma. Ma gives life. This stops. So Ma says go. Ma says go do. W says go odd, go stop. That's G-O-D. This is G-O-D-O. Okay, so now we have say, ma, say, ta, I, ka. Say, ma, say, ta, I, ka is this. That's the real symbol. Okay, all of this contorted shit, like trying to say that it's that. I don't even know how they would get T crosses out of that. I guess like that, I guess. But, like, that's just contorting bullshit. Okay? It all boils down to this is what it means. Okay? It means agree with the cross. Okay? The cross is what means none. No. Okay? You understand? So, because this is a square and the cross is inside the square, this means you're in agreement, okay, with the square. This is why they associate this with other shit. If you're voting, it's going to be a person. If it's a survey, it's going to be whatever question. Okay? But the say ma seta aika is this. That's what it is. Okay, because we are crossing out the square. We don't want the square. We want this. That's what we want. We don't want this. That's a circle. That's sever, burn out the or element. A burnt out or element is what circle means. Okay? The circle is gutted. If you notice, the dot is solid. So if this was all filled in, then this would be a se ka el. Okay, se ka element. Or se or ka el. Okay, which is source, literally. Se or ka el is source. Okay, you got that? Okay, and this is why the circle symbolizes source. Okay, they want a source or. But they say sorcerer. So source, the severed or. All right? So anyways, another important thing is the word Hitler. Okay? So you have H-I, so that means cast out the soul. And then you have thinking, and then you have L-E. Okay, so that's opposite of L-E, so that means flat. And what is flat? It's the Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. Okay, so if you even use words, you have hit, and then you have or. Hit, or. Okay, so that means harm the or. Okay, but Hitler means cast out. Cast out. Okay, means cast out. Think. To empty the ore, burn it out, turn it into like urn, ashes. When ore becomes dust, it's put into an urn. Hitler. Same thing like Haley. Okay, just like Hail Hitler, Haile Selassie. If you recognize one of my callings is Elai. So that's the opposite of Haley, because that means cast out element. Cast out the soul element. That's what Haley means. That's why when it's saying it's hailing. Okay, that means, the elements are being cast out of, they want you to say heaven. But heaven is on the ground. Heaven cannot be upright because heaven is heavy. Okay? So that's what Hitler means. All right, so this is a se ma se ta aika. Se ma se aita. Se ma se aitaka. It's not a swastika. It's a se ma se aitaka. Okay, se ma se ta aika. That's what it is. Se ma se aitaka. 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 It's a se ma se aitaka. I said it 8 times. Se ma se aitaka. I got it now. All right, se ma se aitaka. All right, so look out for some t-shirts. I'm gonna have a se ma se aitaka on there. I'm going to have that symbol, and I'm going to show you what real ancient means, because I got the memory. Okay, I am Elai. I'm not Hitler. Okay, I'm Elai. I'm not Selassie. Okay, I'm Say. Okay, there's a difference. All right, let's go. That's the code. That's part 2. Another good one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Join Jesus.com, get the app, go to Google, go to Apple, download it, get access to Erectionary. There's another cards coming up. I guess I'll be doing a swastika decode Bakuman card and just get at it, all right? Let's go. True talk, like, share, comment, show the appreciation. Ta'anka u. Code activated, spelled broken.